It's a closely matched lineup, you know, on season's best all around that 13-2, 13-3. So who's going to stick their neck above the parapet here? Jakub Szymanski, he seems to be really good at through the rounds getting faster and faster. Even on some of the one-day meetings I've covered, he stopped for an interview in between and all he said is pretty much 2 words: I'll go faster. Yeah, want more speed. Wait, don't get excited by this result. Give me an hour's time when the final comes and see what I can do. And he's looking to become the first Pole to win this particular title. So preparing to make their big entrances here at the Alexander Stadium, starting off with Enzo Diesel. I'll hope to motor down the straight and power himself to a good result. European Under-23 champion last year. Thomas Wilkes, a personal best at the Paris Diamond League coming into this competition, 13:27. Then Szymanski, of course, world and European indoor champion over the last 18 months. Juice Kwamate went out so fast we almost missed him there. 4 times an international bronze medalist, but you know, sometimes it's so difficult to make the French team. Jason Joseph of Switzerland, another who's come through strongly through the age group competitions, winning in Istanbul the European indoor title 3.5 years ago. Sam Bennett, listen to the roar for him on home soil. He was in Glasgow, north of the Commonwealth Games in Scotland, getting himself a silver medal, delivering on the promise he showed when he won European Under-18 gold. Milan Trajkovic, evergreen athlete, who of course has competed at so many championships, European Indoor Champion 2019. And here's Teo Pedra completing the lineup. And, feels like sprint hurdling heritage to have 2 Frenchmen in it. Can one of them become the 6th to win the title? Pascal Martineau-Lagarde, the last to do it. So that contingent of 3, Wilkes, Kwamate and Pedra in this. Music in the stadium adding to the tension and the drama. Lorenzo Simonelli winning on home soil in Rome 2 years ago. Sam Bennett would be quite a story. He's had injury after injury since then. Also won a Commonwealth Youth title and talked about that full circle moment to getting a silver in Glasgow, the senior equivalent. Of course, Emily Newnham was able to replicate Europeans compared identical silver Commonwealth Games. Szymanski, Hannah, they're tipping as the favourite. Hard to disagree. Diesel, Wilkes, Szymanski, Kwamate, Joseph, Bennett, Trajkovic and Pedra. The final of the men's sprint hurdles.
Set.
Silence and then the roar inside the stadium. Szymanski off to a great start and leading the way here from Kwamate. Joseph trying to chase too, and they're fighting to come through. Joseph it is, for Switzerland gets the gold. It was so close on the line as Kwamate had the longest lean there. 13:11 on the clock. And Joseph was an indoor champion and now outdoors. And makes up for the disappointment, of course, of Switzerland's Tadji Kambunji outside of the medals in another very close race. Kwamate came in as the best of the lot this season of the athletes in this final. But you can see his disappointment. He was only going for gold. Szymanski gets the bronze in the end, a sigh and probably a lot to reflect on, all sinking in for him because he as well was looking good out front for that top spot. But all of the athletes produce at least equal their best in 2026 in the final.
Brilliant for Joseph. I think to have the poise to come through that quickly, that is one of his super strengths when he's in good form. He is reliable over the last few hurdles, but he does falter sometimes as well. Sometimes it looks like the occasion gets to him, or he overthinks a race. But today, it's focused and perfect for Joseph. Perhaps settles my debate with you over whether 60-metre hurdle form is enough to take you all the way to 110. Szymanski led for 60, 70 metres or so, and then had to give way to Joseph and just Quay-Mate. But there's only a few things that are certain in life, aren't there? Death, taxes, and a Frenchman on a European sprint hurdles podium.
Yeah, brilliant. And of course, taking a gold medal 2016, 2018, but now it's a fourth different nation in 4 editions. France, Spain, Italy, and now Switzerland for Jason Joseph, delivering on his junior promise yet again. Great to see teammates celebrating with one another, even though some have missed out on the podium. But yeah, looking at Joseph, European under-20 and under-23 champion, winner at the European teams and indoors and outdoors. So that's the full set apart from the European under-18s, which I don't think was possible for him because it only started in 2016.
We'll let him off. I think Mahuchik's done them all, hasn't she? Yaroslava Mahuchik. But if you've done all the ones that are available to you, that is lovely. And the Swiss athlete, as you say, perhaps making up for disappointment with the Taji Kambunji last night. What a great lean as well. I love the section between the final hurdle and the finish line for these men. I said it earlier on. It's all this discipline across the barriers. As you see Chajkovic, unfortunately in a world of trouble there, Petra as well, chopping wood, hitting every hurdle. The race is always on after that final hurdle. Joseph and Quay-Mate just lean, 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 lean. And hope that it's been good enough to get the job done.
So that's his equal 7th fastest time, but he does have 10 races in his career within 0.05 of a second. I mean, it's the life of a sprint hurdler in many cases.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jason Joseph will take that with great confidence that in the remaining Diamond League meetings and maybe those World Ultimate Championships, he can really challenge the Americans. Of course, the record book's been rewritten by Jacoby Tharp with that 12:75 world record just a few weeks ago. And there's the likes of Cordell Finch and Jamel Britt waiting for him. But we have a European who can get in there, in with the mix, and really try and break up that American domination that currently exists in the 110 meters hurdles. Jason Joseph has to be really motivated now to go forward and perhaps get under the 13-second barrier. It hasn't been breached by too many Europeans. Could Joseph be the next one? I have a feeling that going from here, yes, his personal best is 13:07. Tonight he was 500 short of that. But on another occasion, against the Americans pushing him, I think the 13-second barrier is ready for him to go through it.
Yeah, second fastest athlete in Europe this year, had been 3rd behind Quay-Mate. In fact, there was a moment there just looking at that second replay where he might have actually leaned a little bit too early as the line was approaching. Quay-Mate a little bit better in that last metre or so, making it nice and close there. And then a gap of 1/10 of a second back to Szymanski, which is quite large in all things considered. Great to see athletes deliver on the promise that they had in their youth career. Sam Bennett, we talked about his story winning the European under-18s. Well, yeah, just the 7th place in the end, fading towards the end of the race. And Trajkovic, another athlete for whom it may be his last European final. Same thing with him, but yeah, great to see athletes who we've seen over the years continue to make finals. Darchik, Trajkovic among them tonight.
But we have a great love affair at the Europeans with Milan Trajkovic, the Cypriot. He's done so well over the years and he's represented his small island nation so successfully. I just wonder whether it was a race or two too far for him, just simply because he focused and put all his energy in terms of taking that medal at the Commonwealth Games. No trouble though. Quay-Mate coming through for silver. He's always been there or thereabouts, but he's been often the bridesmaid rather than the bride, hasn't he, on the big occasion. One day it'll happen for him. You just feel that one day he'll get it right. He'll be able to put together 10 successful barrier clearances, and it'll all come together, and it'll be gold rather than silver hanging around his neck. But tonight, that gold goes to Jason Joseph.
Yeah, it is still his best ever international performance as well. I think now the smile's coming out to reflect that. As we see there, the full results, Joseph from Kwanmate and Szymanski, and then a 10th of a second again back to Thomas Wilkes, another emerging talent. Enzo Diesel in 5th place for Austria.
Well, the traditional photo of all the medalists together, big smiles on everybody's face. Notwithstanding the fact that Szymanski's got a world indoor medal to his name, I think everybody's happy out of that trio.